Hey, everybody. I know that we have folks joining here, and we just want to give them a quick moment so that they're able to come into the room and get settled. Welcome today. We'll be discussing building a life-saving pocket first aid kit. This is the 2022 Jamboree on the internet. Today is the 14th of October, 2022. As I just said a moment ago, we're going to give everybody a few seconds here to join the room and get settled. I'm so thrilled that we have so many folks who are joining today. Let me just quickly welcome some of the folks. Andre, welcome. Christopher, fantastic having you. Coral, fantastic. Helen, Jacob, James, Maria, Monica, welcome. Ricardo, so good to see you. Nathaniel, Ronaldo, Samantha, Sharon, Terry, Tiffany. Just so excited to see everyone. Amy, Maverick. I won't be able to read out everybody's name because we're so lucky to have a big session today. But just want to welcome everybody as the room continues to fill up from around the world. If you want to put in the chat where you're coming from, I would be excited to hear that. But the other thing that's great is if you want to ask a question early, we're happy to receive those, and we're happy to receive your questions throughout the presentation. James, Jarvis, welcome. Fantastic. Who else do we have here? I think I already said hi to Maria and Monica, but just great that we have all of you here. Well, we'll still give newcomers a few minutes, but I'm really excited that you're joining my session. You have so many options of things that you're able to go to. That's the best part of Jamboree on the internet. But you're spending your time with me. Thank you. My name is Philip. I've been a scout my entire life. I serve in the Boy Scouts of America as the vice chair for supporting World Scouting. But in my job, I work in disasters around the world. So by the end of this year, 22 countries and all 50 US states. So it's just a huge privilege for me to get to do this work, to travel the world, and to get to tell you a little bit of the things that I've learned. So let's get started. Let's talk about it. What could you put in a pocket medical kit? Well, we need to start with why. Why are pocket kits important? The first thing is that it has to do with us as a scout. We want all of you young scouts to be self-reliant, to be independent. We're trying to give you the skills to not only support yourselves and your communities, but also to be great citizens in our shared world. We want you to be healthy. We want you to have your cuts covered, and we want your blisters to be treated and prevented so that you can keep hiking and have a wonderful time. We want you to be well. And we want to start a conversation with these kits. What should your unit carry? What should your patrol carry? What about your den? What about your family before in an emergency? So let's start with something that's really easy. What does my kit look like? Well, this is the kit that we're going to get to talk about today with these essentials that you will be able to assemble. We'll talk about each item individually, and we'll tell you some customizations so that you don't have to feel like you have to get these specific items. But see how it's pocket-sized? We want it to be something that you can carry anywhere. So let's get ready to begin. These are the items on the screen. We'll go through them one by one. The first item today is the case. This case is my personal favorite. If you're able to see the video feed, I actually have one right here. They're made for earphones, but they go so perfectly in your pocket. They're a hard case with a zipper. They have a little attachment point. And you can see the cost there at the bottom. I don't expect everyone to get my favorite case. I want you to get your favorite case and start with some things around the house. Maybe it's a plastic bag, or maybe it's a little cloth bag that you like, an old tin for candies like Altoids, or the thing you used to hold your glasses with. All of those are great options for a case. The most important part is it has to be pocket sized. We want this to be something that you will carry around everywhere, because you never know when you're going to be injured. You never know when someone else is going to be injured. So start with a case that you feel comfortable with. The first thing that goes into that case, Band-Aids. Band-Aids are fantastic. In the United Kingdom, they call them plasters. They may call them something different in your country. But when unwrapped, they look like this. And just as Scouts come in different sizes, so do Band-Aids. We have big Band-Aids for big cuts and small Band-Aids for small cuts or small places. So you wouldn't use the same Band-Aid on a finger than you might use on the bottom of your foot. So I carry lots of different sizes. They're not very expensive. They're absolutely essential. And I particularly like the flexible fabric Band-Aids, and they come in these great packs that have lots of different sizes and shapes. And so find something that you are excited about and put just a few into your pocket medical kit. Item number 2 is connected to those Band-Aids. Here in the United States, we call it Neosporin. But what it is it's an antibiotic. In fact, it's a triple antibiotic with 3 different medicines inside of it. It helps with healing. It also helps kill all of the germs that are inside of your cut. And so this is something I put on every cut, every time, as the motto goes. And they come in these really great little packets, so I don't have to carry around a whole tube. I can just bring these little guys. This is another brand that's cheaper, just as good. And again, you can see it's a triple antibiotic ointment. Perhaps in your country, it's slightly different, but it's again a cream that's killing germs that you can use with the Band-Aid. The next item on the list is a BZK wipe. Well, BZK may be hard to remember, but it's even harder, the full word. This is an antiseptic wipe. Again, this is killing all of those bad germs. It's removing all the dirt from your wound. But even better than that, it doesn't sting. So I hope that all of you, when you're afraid of someone coming to you with a little towel and say, I want to clean your cut, this doesn't sting at all. Alcohol wipes do sting, and they actually can hurt the inside of your body, stop it from healing. So the best ones possible are these BZK wipes, and they're absolutely fantastic, and they don't cost too much. For those just joining us, because we have had a few additions, we're learning how to build a pocket medical kit. These are all of the ingredients that go into it, all the components. We're just going around in a circle here. The next item is the hand sanitizing wipe. Again, I don't use this for cuts. I don't use this for wounds, but I do use this for cleaning my hands. I do use this for cleaning a dirty spoon or something else that might have dropped. These are great for killing germs, killing bacteria, killing viruses. It's absolutely fantastic at that, and was a very important tool during the pandemic to try to slow the spread of COVID, but it's super important to also help in flu and all sorts of other important and deadly diseases. What's the next item on our list? Well, it's something that can also be used as a preventative measure. This is a blister Band-Aid. This is extra thick. It's nice and rubbery on the inside. But what this has is a special characteristic. When you open it up, it looks like this. It actually is trapping inside your foot all of those white blood cells. The white blood cells are the fighters and the army and the police inside of your body trying to kill those germs. And so it's helping to keep all of those helpful fighters inside of you while keeping out all the bad germs. But because it's nice and thick, it also protects your wound. So if you are injured or you're walking and you have a blister or you have a cut on your foot, this is able to go on top of it, and you're actually able to continue having fun and continue going on your adventure. An alternative, especially for blisters, is moleskin padding. This might be something that you have. It's thick cotton that's able to protect your foot, prevent blisters, and in case of injury, is able to relieve that pressure. Think of it as a big donut, or when you're in a bumper car, right? The bumper car is taking all of the hits, keeping your foot safe. But this is something that I think is fantastic and would highly recommend because, again, it's able to do the before and the after in case the blister were to pop. Next item on the list, bug spray. We all know that there's big bottles of bug spray, but in this case, it's just a little towel here in my hand. And that little towel can be unwrapped and you can use it in any kind of emergency. Maybe you start the day high on a mountain, and then at the end of the day, you're near a river where bugs live and breed. And so suddenly you need bug spray when you didn't in the morning. This is a great way to have that and prevent yourself from having those stings and bites that might come along. There's lots of brands with something that you are comfortable with, including products that have DEET, a chemical that bugs don't like, and some that don't have DEET. Totally your option. And don't worry if in your country or in your part of the United States you don't have these particular brands. Get whatever works for you. We want you to be comfortable, and we want you to have it, again, be pocket sized so that you're able to keep enjoying the outdoors. What happens if you do get stung? Well, we want you to keep having fun. A sting kill wipe is a wipe that has a little bit of green liquid in it. And if you rub it on something, it stops hurting. It's what we call an anesthetic. It's external, so you just have to rub it on the spot that stings or burns or itches because it was bitten. And again, it allows you to feel comfortable about continuing. On the back, you're able to see what the ingredients are. And here you can see that there's two different products. They're both totally equal. 20% benzocaine equals 2% lidocaine. The alcohol in there or the menthol is simply there to kill the germs or make you feel a little bit better and more soothed. So don't worry about that at all. Great for adults to look at the back of the package and understand what they're purchasing and why. Okay, again, for those who are just joining, we're almost more than halfway through, but this is the pocket kit. And the next item for those who are following along is the hydration mix. When going out into the sun, which is actually one of the most dangerous things about going out into the great outdoors, heat stroke, sun exhaustion, sunburn, which we'll hear about in a little bit. One of the most important things is to keep your body filled with water and to give it the essential elements that it needs, including something called electrolytes. So the most famous electrolytes perhaps is Gatorade, but again, in your country or in your location, you may have another preference. These are all great mixes that have vitamins in them that can help prevent cramps on a long hike, or they simply make the water that you're drinking taste better in case you don't like the taste, because you don't want any excuse not to keep drinking. Your body needs that water and it needs those salts, which we call electrolytes. Next item, again, talking about the sun, sunscreen. I carry these little itty bitty packets of sunscreen in my kit always, because maybe I need sunscreen, maybe a friend needs sunscreen. It not only makes you happier on the day, but it makes you happy for the rest of the week because you won't be burned, itching, red, and sore, but also it prevents skin cancer. So a super important thing, and something that sometimes we forget, which is why it's great that it could be in your pocket at all times. Second to last item is tissues. Tissues are fantastic. Not only are they great for your nose, but they also work as emergency toilet paper. And again, it's hard to bring around a tissue box. It's hard to bring around large rags or other things. And so a little package of tissues, right? Something nice and small is really great in order to be that emergency that you might need. But there's something else that's pretty fun about tissues. On the internet, you can actually buy custom packaged tissues. So maybe you want to advertise, important health instructions of how you can put someone in what we call the recovery position. Maybe you want to advertise your home scout unit. You could put your logo on the tissues. Those are all options. And another way to do that is with an in case of emergency card. Again, this is something that you could carry with you at all times, that could have your parents' information, that could have your Scoutmaster's information, or that could have important information for you. These cards, and in this case, I just have my face on my cards that people actually know who they met. You can put all sorts of things like, please come to our next big event. Please come to our scouting thing, or have blank lines so that people can fill out the information about what campsite you're staying at or what city you live in. If you went traveling, you'd write all of that information on all of your bags. You should bring it with you as well. And a nice little card like this is helpful. Well, with that, we have the entire Pocket Medical Kit, but don't leave yet, because not only do we have a few announcements, we have a few additions that you can put in to make this kit really special to you. The first announcement, though, is that the total cost of this is only $5.15. We'll tell you at the end how you can put together this kit. I don't sell these kits, but I can tell you where you can buy some of the items. So I just want to provide you the information of where you can get this stuff, including from your own home. You may not even need to buy anything new, but everything I just showed you is only $5. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, and we don't want you to spend a lot of money. But this is what my medical kit looks like. As you can see, it has more Band-Aids and bigger Band-Aids because I'm a bigger person. You can see it has some medicines in there, which we're just about to talk about. So let's talk about some of the things that you can put in your kit. Here are the extras. First big extra is medications. These are fantastic, and these are the three that I carry: Aleve, Benadryl, and Tylenol, which is acetaminophen. In other countries, it may be paracetamol or something else. You don't have to choose these three, but the reason I have is because they come in these great single packs. That way you know exactly how much to take. You're able to keep with you only what you need, and you don't have to worry about that whole big bottle of pills. It's just these little packets. There's, of course, lots of packets that you can purchase with all of your favorite medications, again, all around the world. Bayer, with the yellow package there, is aspirin. We know that aspirin can be really helpful to people who are having a heart attack, so you can actually save a life with aspirin. But we also know that aspirin isn't appropriate for young children. So again, You decide what is appropriate for your age, for your country, and for the kinds of activities that you do. And indeed, there's lots and lots of these little pills. So again, I'll send some links at the bottom, and you can research what you feel most comfortable with. But I bring lots when I travel all around the world. The two here quick: Pepto-Bismol for upset stomachs when you travel, and Bayer Aspirin, we just talked about, preventing heart attacks. To be able to save a life with just something in your pocket is wonderful. Number two is a tick key. Here in the United States, we have little bugs that bite, and this little tool is called a tick key, and it makes the little bug, when it bites your skin and stays there, it makes them feel, as you put the tool over them, as if the whole world is squishing them, and they get more and more scared until they pop right off and they run away. It's so much better than trying to use tweezers or fire or alcohol or anything else, because when the tick jumps off of you, he doesn't put the disease inside of himself into you, the person. So this is a wonderful tool here in North America, and maybe in your country if you have a little bug that bites. Visine, eye flush. These are little itty bitty eye drops, wonderful in case you were to get something in your eye, including dust or a little bit of a twig or something else. Just fantastic, and I always carry it with me. Adults, this may not seem like a priority for you, but when at service projects and scouts are working around cement dust, this can be an absolute lifesaver. We need to protect all of our five senses, and sight is one of those important ones. It's an eye flush, as well as just something that makes you more comfortable. Feminine products. There's no reason that your medical kit should not only help you, but help others around you. And so one of the things that I carry in my kit are feminine products. It's a wonderful thing to include. It's wonderful to help other people around you. This kit is not just for you, it's for the whole family and for your community. Next up, water purification. Water purification is the most essential thing that we have here on Earth. This wonderful little packet is actually shipped all around the world whenever there's a disaster, whenever there's an emergency. And these little packets not only kill all the germs inside of water, but it also removes all of the mud, and it removes all of the stuff. It's practically magic, but I can't recommend them highly enough for, again, those dire emergencies. But let me finish on just one last thing before we go back to the pocket medical kit, which is giving you and your fellow scouts support when they're having a really bad day. Adults, this entire card and guide is available online for you to download, for you to edit, for you to print. But I keep this in every single one of my pocket medical kits. Just this little business card tells me how I can help a scout who has been hurt or attacked, or perhaps their dog died. So many sad things happen in life. And so this is one way that we can help in those sad moments. And that's so important for all of us. Well, there's 3 ways to finish this story, and that's how you can build your own medical kit. And I'll show all of the ingredients again, and we'll have lots of questions to come, but there are 3 ways that you can move forward. The first one is be a thrifty scout. Go around your house, look for all those first aid supplies, those travel items. What are some of those scout stuffs that you can put into a bag? Check your drawers, lay it all out, put it into a final pocket kit. And I find that lots of good medical items come from trade shows, conventions, hotels, free samples, all little sized items that you're able to put into your pocket medical kit. The second way to move forward is investing in a custom kit. That allows you to go out to buy the supplies that you would like. Here's a photo I took in an airport of all the little miniature things, but sometimes you can find those on Amazon. You can find those in a supermarket or in another store. So please consider that. Or you can go through my kit, the kit that I just showed you. I have Amazon links in order to purchase the supplies. I don't make any money from this. I just want to provide information to you all. But I put those ingredients into containers. I walk through the process with our older scouts, and then I allow the older scouts to teach the younger scouts by going through like a buffet. What's great about this is that the next year you're able to ask the scouts, what did you use? What did you not use? It's a great activity. And in the United States, it's actually something that's required for tenderfoot rank and is required for first aid merit badge. But it's not just then, all year long. Check it before trips. If someone doesn't know how to use one of the tools, you can demonstrate the proper use. Adults, this is an important thing. Don't just do it, but demonstrate and explain what you're doing it while you do it. Have refill stations at trips and carry extra kits to give away. That's what I do. I assemble lots of these kits, and the folks I meet, I always try to give one away. There's hundreds of things that you could put into this, and there's hundreds of fancy things that you could add over the years. But I start with the pocket kit. The pocket kit that's inexpensive, it's pocket sized, it helps support our scouts and our cubs, it's water resistant. Then by adding that pocket kit with just a few more items, suddenly you have a patrol kit, something that again can save a life, something that shares essentials and has those big kits with it, this large sunscreen or the large bug spray for a whole group of scouts. And then you just take that patrol kit and put it with some extra items, and suddenly you have a whole unit kit. That's why I try to start with the pocket kit and move from there. If you're wondering what to do next, the next slide is going to have a link for you. It will have this entire presentation, which I invite everyone to take, steal. You're welcome to present it to others, but every one of my Scout guides is on this website free of charge, and I don't need any credit. So take any of the items, download them, and make them your own, including event checklists and packing lists. And again, things like this pocket medical kit. So I want to thank all of you for joining. I'm now going to start answering all of your questions. I'm happy to answer questions about what went into the kit, how to use those items. I'm happy to discuss more things that you're able to pack, but I just want to thank all of you for joining, and please type your questions in the chat. Alfredo, do we have any questions that that make sense to answer?
Well, there are some questions for you. One is about how to download the list of items. So that's something you already answered. Here is another one. If there are no medicines, like whether we can use herbal plants?
The answer is, of course, yes. Anything that you want in your pocket medical kit. In fact, I recommend for your parents that maybe their medical kit includes a sewing kit, so that when they go to work and they accidentally tear their pants, they're able to fix their pants. Or maybe you want to put into your medical kit a compass in case of emergency. Any kind of item that you feel comfortable with is what I recommend. An anonymous attendee just asked about whether alcohol is really a bad way to clean a cut. And this is a great example. If this is something that you prefer, you can always clean your wound with soap and water. You can clean it with a BZK wipe. You can use triple antibiotic. The reason I don't recommend alcohol wipes is because they hurt. I don't recommend alcohol wipes because the alcohol not only kills the good cells, but also, sorry, it doesn't only kill the bad cells, but it also kills the good cells. But if that's all that you have available, it's better than nothing. So please do what you think makes the most sense, and please be comfortable with what you have locally.
Well, you have Isma from Indonesia saying hello. And here's a question from Amelia. How do you maintain the expiry of the kit items?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
How do you maintain the expiry date of the kit items?
This is a very good question, and is a complex one. What I do is that when I build lots of kits, I write down the expiration date so that I know when the earliest thing goes bad. And so normally when I build a kit, everything will last for a year and a half or 2 years. So if I redo my kit in January of every year, then everything in my kit will be brand new and wonderful. But you don't have to do it that frequently. And so that's why I write down what's the thing that goes bad. Of course, what's also great is that everything on it has an expiration date, including all of those little medical packages. So this one expires in 2024, in December 2024. So that's going to last for 2 whole years, which is wonderful and is great. So I'm thrilled for that. Adelaide, okay. let me answer Adelaide's question real fast before we go to yours. Here in the United States, we have girls in our scouting program, as well as boys. And of course, we have male leaders and female leaders, as almost all countries do. And so my only point is that just because you're a boy doesn't mean that you shouldn't carry feminine products with you, especially if it can help another scout. I don't need little sting kill wipes for myself, but they're a great comfort to younger scouts. So I did not mean to insinuate that there aren't millions and millions of scouts who are girls around the world. But I think that we all should be carrying wonderful products that support all of us, even if we ourselves don't have to use it. So I hope that answers that question. Another question I see here is regarding the lack of materials in Africa. I appreciate that question so much. I want to be very clear that you don't need all of this fancy stuff in order to make a great medical kit. And that's why going around your own house and looking for the things that you are most comfortable with, the things that your mom, dad, family, or siblings would give you in an emergency, that you bring those things with you everywhere you go. There's no need to buy lots of expensive stuff. I certainly don't buy expensive things at all. There's also another question here, if there's anything natural on the list. There is. There's lots of fun natural things on the list. Let me start with just 2 or 3 of them. Sunscreen comes in 2 different types, and one of them is actually zinc. The zinc is a type of metal, and the metal reflects light like little mirrors. And so that's an example of where you can use an element on the periodic table to do something awesome. The tissues, 100% recyclable, and of course can be, tissues are often recycled and are able to be recycled at the end of their life. For the bug repellent, there's lots of natural bug repellents that you are able to use. I think the final one that I was going to mention was on the drink mix. There are lots of drink mixes in each country that might suit your needs in making sure that you get those electrolytes, because normally through your food you would get them naturally and often. Let me quickly scroll down here as additional questions come in. These are the items that I would most recommend for scouts to carry: food and water, good clothing for weather. I would always recommend carrying a whistle so that in case of emergency or needing to contact someone, you're able to whistle. Personal medications, it's very important that if you have an emergency medication that you carry it with you, as well as the pocket first aid kit that we just discussed. For adults, I would recommend those medical forms. Here in the BSA, we have a 3-page medical form, but there's lots more to that, but your country may have something similar. A unit policy or plan is fantastic. Safety trip plans. Where's the nearest hospital? Printing out those documents so that if you don't have internet or cell service, you're able to still get there. A mobile phone is not just great for calling people, but you can use it as a flashlight, as a magnifying glass. You can use it as a compass, lots of fun things. And then again, that pocket kit, it's not just for scouts, it's for adults as well. Looks like we have a few questions about the feminine products. What I would recommend, just because we're in a group that includes both young scouts and old scouts, is to talk with a trusted family member, to talk with a member of your community about that. And I just want to be cognizant that we have so many different people here on this chat, that your case should be unique to you. And I want to make sure that you can have that chat privately and confidently with someone that you trust. Is there a manual? Great question, Sophie. Is there a manual? Here at this URL, all of my Scout guides are available. So please do go there. I would love to have you download any of these, including the Amazon list and everything else. There's a big welcome letter there that will let you know what everything is, but I'm also a pilot. So if you'd like to learn about flying, there's a presentation all about aviation. If you'd like to learn about camping and sleeping gear and stuff like that, there's more information there. So ask your parents, and they're able to help you get to this website, download anything that you like, and don't hesitate to present on it sometime soon. Which item do I think is the most important? Well, for those who have just joined us, this is what is in the medical kit. Sorry about that. This is what's in the medical kit. Which one do I think is most important? You know, I think the most important here is indeed the drink mix. I think that it is so vital that you stay drinking water. Water is the best thing in the world, but sometimes water isn't enough, and sometimes the water tastes really, really bad. And this mix can fix both of them. So I would definitely choose this over anything else. And again, there's so many different options, including Gatorade. The other suggestion that I might give is, and there's even more medical advice there. Just 5 more minutes for questions, so send those in and we would love to see them. Just a few slides back. Sorry for skipping so fast. We discussed that water purification tablet, the P&G. When you don't have safe water to drink in an emergency, this is the absolute best item that I can recommend. I think it's fantastic for emergencies. It's available on Amazon. And again, it kills all of the germs in the water, but it also removes all of the mud and all of the sticks and all of the bacteria and all the bad stuff. All goes to the bottom. And so even if you have very, very bad drinking water, this is the biggest lifesaver and is one of the biggest lifesavers in every major disaster around the world. Alfredo, is there a question that sticks out to you that you want to get next?
Well, here is that, is it safe to have pills or something like Benadryl in our kit? I've been said that we don't have to add them in our kit.
That's right. So if you don't feel comfortable with carrying medications, please don't. I don't give medications to my young scouts. I allow that to be done by their parents. That's that. But some of you who are, especially those who are adults, may like to carry medications for yourself and may like to carry medications for other. Benadryl has two key purposes. The first one is to stop your nose from being wet and runny, especially when you're allergic to something. Also helps with the throat. It also has a side effect to make you fall asleep. It makes you tired. And so it is actually good for both of those uses in case of an emergency. So that is something I happen to carry, but Benadryl is not something that I would have my young scouts carry. Alfredo, I think I've seen the question a few times of whether we have a code, and I know the code changes every year. Before everyone logs off, do you have our code this week?
Yes, I will share the code in the chat in a moment. And you also have here a pair of comments. Thanks, this was very well done presentation. And Antonio says, thank you, great idea of having some items extra and it's easy to carry.
That's great. Well, I appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you for joining this session. If you'd like to watch it again tomorrow, it's going to be happening at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 3 hours before this hour tomorrow. So that's going to be in 21 hours. I want to thank everybody for coming in and joining us. It means the world. I, again, have been to 20 countries, but I'm sure that you guys are from dozens of countries. So thank you so much for coming. And I'll let Alfredo say goodbye to all of us as well.
Thank you, Philip. The challenge code is in the chat of this meeting. So please copy and use it wisely.
Thanks, everybody. Make sure to get that challenge code. Have a wonderful time at Jamboree on the internet. See you tomorrow, maybe. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.